it's Alexis. Today I'm going to be sharing with you when to start wearing maternity clothes. So most of this is going to be from my experience. Right now I'm currently 25 weeks along, so I've been wearing maternity clothes exclusively since like 16 weeks. But before we even get started, I want you to know that every single mama, every single pregnancy is going to be different. So just because I'm telling you today when I started wearing maternity clothes, this is just giving you like a rough estimate what worked for me. This could be completely different from your experience because we are different. We have different body types. We have all different things that are going into how your bump is going to grow. So for most first-time mamas, you're gonna expect to start wearing maternity clothes exclusively anywhere from 16 to 20 weeks on, and some mamas never even actually use them. I know a couple of people who said they did not wear maternity clothes at all, and I give them so much credit because I just felt like, oh my gosh, they were so uncomfortable in my regular clothes once I got around 16 weeks. But I would say that for myself, I started wearing maternity pants in specific when I was right around 12 weeks. And this is just because I felt like there was so much pressure on my stomach. It was just really uncomfortable and I didn't like it. So I just invested in a few different pairs of maternity pants that I knew I would wear, not only for this pregnancy, but hopefully we'll have more kiddos in the future and I'd be able to wear them then. So I felt like it was a really good investment for me. So I just started wearing pretty much maternity pants exclusively from like 12 weeks on. But for shirts were really awkward. Like it was awkward from, I would say 10 weeks to like almost 16. Like I just didn't quite look pregnant, but I did look pregnant. And so it was awkward. So shirts were something that some days, if I had the right pants on, I could wear like a really tight shirt and you could totally tell I was pregnant. Then there were other days where if I did wear my pre-pregnancy pants with like a belly band, I would have to wear something a little flowier just so that way it didn't look awkward, like, is she pregnant or did she have too much pizza? You know, that's just kind of what it looked like. So if you are a second time mama, you're probably going to be wearing maternity clothes much sooner than you did in your first pregnancy. And this is just because your uterus is actually remembering what it was like to be pregnant, so it's already ready to stretch and you're going to be stretching sooner. So some second time mamas will actually be wearing maternity clothes as early as 8 weeks. And for others, you know, it's going to be much closer to 12 weeks on. But the factors that really change, you know, who wears maternity clothes and at what time you start wearing maternity clothes is really where your bump is. And for me, I'm really short torsoed, so I don't have much stomach. So that just means that everything grows out, and that just means that I have a lot less room when I'm wearing jeans to be able to button them. So I found myself wearing maternity clothes, like I said, exclusively right around 16 weeks, but maternity pants definitely around 12. So I get asked a lot, so when do like your pants start getting tight? And I would say pants start getting like uncomfortable around 10 weeks. For me at least. And then 12 weeks, it was like, nope, I can't do this. I need the maternity pants. So I would say when your pants start getting tight, you can start transitioning into maternity pants. You're probably going to notice when you first buy your maternity pants that like maybe they kind of fit awkwardly because the elasticy part, it doesn't really fill out your bump. So that's why a lot of people wait to start wearing maternity pants. But once you kind of start filling that out and they're comfortable, definitely make the switch because it's worth it. And it's way better to be comfortable than to have to be, you know, in your jeans that are buttoned really tight and you just feel like there's so much pressure. And I feel like it's just better to wear maternity pants when you can. If you are still wearing your pre-pregnancy joggers and all of that stuff, it's probably easier to do that. I still have some pajama bottoms that I actually think will carry me right through because they're just so elasticy that I know for a fact that they're going to be fine. But it just seems like jeans in specific are the one thing that are very tough to continue fitting into past a certain number of weeks. This is why I do recommend the belly band, especially in those early phases. Because in the early stages of pregnancy, there's a lot more bloat than anything. And although the bloating is just bloat, it's still uncomfortable. It's just like before when you were at Thanksgiving dinner, after you ate, you were like, oh my gosh, I would do anything to just unbutton my pants just so that way I can have a little more room. That's what it feels like during your first trimester. So having just a belly band or something to just be able to expand and feel comfortable is super, super helpful. There are a few things you can do during early pregnancy that can help you to feel the most comfortable. So I think the most awkward thing for me was shirts, because I definitely could not fit into maternity shirts. It just looked weird because it was so baggy, yet like kind of tight all at the same time. And then non-maternity stuff just looked like I was not fitting in them and like I was eating way too much food and getting chunky. Like it was not good. So what I would recommend is getting flowier shirts if you don't have them, wearing like sweatshirts and things like that. If you have maternity jeans, you can probably get away with wearing like a tighter shirt that kind of shows off your bump, just because when everything's a little bit tighter, it's like obvious, like, oh, she's pregnant, she's trying to show it off. And I feel like when I wear like my pre-pregnancy pants with a belly band, I have to wear something a little more flowy. So that is just like some helpful things that I found that made my early pregnancy much easier. So lastly, I want to chat about some tips for buying maternity clothes. So my first tip of advice is don't buy maternity clothes too early, because you don't necessarily know what size you're going to be. For me, pre-pregnancy, I was like an extra small, just like depended on the clothing line, but I usually like gravitated to smalls. And I'm finding that in pregnancy, I'm more comfortable in a medium. Sometimes smalls work, and sometimes they are comfortable, and sometimes they're great. But I found, at least for tops, mediums have just been more comfortable, especially because I feel like my breasts have really gotten a lot bigger. And that is something I was not expecting. I mean, I knew that it would happen, but I didn't realize it would happen that much. And so I just feel like I really needed a medium. Now, as far as pants go, I really haven't changed size as far as pants. I noticed that maybe they're a little snugger in my hips because my hips have widened. But besides that, I've really stayed in the same size. So when I'm buying maternity clothes, right now for shirts, I'm sizing up a size. And then for my pants, I'm staying the same size. So I hope that's helpful, but make sure that you don't buy too soon, because you don't know how you're going to be carrying. If you start gaining a little bit of weight in your thighs or in your arms or whatever, and you've already purchased all these clothes, you don't want to have to then go return them. So don't buy them too early, but make sure you do get some deals, because maternity clothes are not cheap. Now, my second tip to buying maternity clothes is buy tons of t-shirts. So I found that t-shirts were an awesome thing because I could layer if I was cold. If I had like a sweater or something that I wanted to put over top to keep me warm, I could do that. And then on hot days, I could just wear the t-shirt or like a tank top. So that was really, really nice. And then as far as pants, this would be my third tip, is buy some really good maternity pants. These are staples that I just feel like I have worn so much, and it's worth every penny to spend a little bit more for better quality. I have bought all of my pants through motherhood. I really like their stuff for the most part. Now, their return policy is a little frustrating, I guess. I had purchased a couple things from there, and then they charged me to ship it back, which I was kind of bummed about, but there is a workaround for this. So I found that if I purchased the item on Amazon, and sometimes it was a couple dollars more expensive, but it was worth it because I could do free returns. So I could buy a couple different pairs of shorts or pants, try them on, and if I didn't like them, I could just return them back to Amazon. So that's just a little workaround for buying on motherhood. So my last tip is, how can I dress up these t-shirts and pants that I've purchased when I'm going out to dinner, or I'm going to a gathering, or I have a fancier work wardrobe. Jewelry and different accessories can totally change the look of an outfit. So I've been really enjoying, wearing different earrings, or wearing a little fancier necklace if I'm going out to dinner. And I also have like a little bit more dressy like sweaters and things that I wear over top, so that way the t-shirt doesn't look just like a t-shirt. So I hope that these tips and tricks help you to know when to start buying maternity clothes and also to be smart when buying them so you don't spend tons and tons of money on unnecessary clothes that will only last you for 9 months or less, I guess, because if you're like me in 16 weeks, probably only gonna wear them for 6. But anyway, I hope that this video helped. If you have any advice for choosing maternity clothes, or you would like to let us know when you started wearing maternity clothes, make sure that you comment below. So anyway, I hope that you guys have a good week, and I'll see you next time.